first top 5 episode as we build up to November's release of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Yesterday, Wednesday the 7th of May, it was revealed that Hoenn would finally get a remake. So to celebrate, guys, today we are going to be discussing the top 5 Hoenn Pokemon that need a Mega Evolution. These 5 poor Pokemon have been neglected for far too long, and it is time for GameFreak to step up their shit and sort this out. So, let's just dive straight into the list. So guys, we're going to be starting off with Wailord the Float Pokemon. Now this Pokemon, Dex number 321, is a water type Pokemon. Now, I've decided to have this Pokemon on the list, one, because water type is my favourite type. And overall, I just feel that Wailord needs something extra to make it, just to make it in that tier above. A tier where people will actually use this mammoth of a Pokemon. It is huge. It is, I think, it's the biggest Pokemon that is actually available, and it just deserves something. It's based off a blue whale, a majestic creature, but it has the power to destroy everything, and that should be reflected in its Mega Evolution. Now, I've got a couple of ideas for what we should do with this Pokemon. First of all, obviously, its base stats will be raised by 100. So I'm thinking about, since HP doesn't actually get increased, and as we all know, Wailord's HP is already a massive whopping 170. So to match that, because the problem with Wailord is that its defense and special defense are straight up booty. They are only 45 apiece. So to increase them slightly, maybe just defense, increase that by a couple of levels, maybe take that up to 75, 85, make it a bit more bulky on the defensive side, and then increase its attack or special attack, depending on what kind of Pokemon you want to go for. They're both base 90 just now. Maybe take them up to 120 each, or maybe even boost one of them a little bit further than the other, and then you've got a much more powerful Pokemon, a Pokemon that deserves to be king of the seas. Now for ability-wise, I'm thinking to make it more useful as well, you could actually just add in Drizzle. I think that's a pretty damn good move. I know it's going to be very similar to Kyogre in that respect, but since Gen 6's nerf of Weather and I think that's fine. I think because you've got Politoed, then you've got Kyogre, then, and if we add another Pokemon into that with Wailord, Mega Wailord, I think that would work nice. It can be used as a mixed attacker, like, it can be used as a mixed attacker, it can be used as a nice setup Pokemon for a rain team. It could then, you can have maybe a Swift Swim Ludicolo, you can have some Crawdonts in there, and it would mean that you don't have to use Politoed or Kyogre, and I think that would be its use. I think that Mega Wailord, with its boosted attack, defense, and special attack, along with the Drizzle ability, and base stats is actually 500 at the moment, so we'd increase that to probably about 600, because 100 base stat increase with Mega Evolution seems to be the norm. And then we're talking about a really incredible Pokemon, a Pokemon that people might actually decide to use, and myself, I would have that on every single team. I love rain teams. Weather teams are a main staple of the kind of competitive teams that I like. And I think Wailord is way underused for what it can be. With that HP at 170? Come on, that is absolutely insane. I know increasing both defense and special defense would probably make it OP, but increasing one of them, and then increasing maybe the attack a little bit, along with adding in the Drizzle ability, might be an interesting way to go. That way, we can have an interesting Pokemon all round. So, there we go. Let's move on to the second Pokemon, which is actually keeping in with the water theme. We're going to be moving on to Luvdisc. Now, Luvdisc, the rendezvous Pokemon, is Dex number 370 in the Hoenn and overall. So, Luvdisc. Where the fuck do we start with Luvdisc? Luvdisc is pretty much... it's pretty much ironic for a Pokemon that is actually just shaped like a heart, or kind of like an asshole, if you want to. It's kind of like a bum, the end of it. But either way, it's had no love from GameFreak. Absolutely no love whatsoever. It is just straight up booty. With a whopping, and by whopping I'm being very sarcastic there, base stat total of 330. It just is straight up ass. Now, it's not had an evolution at all. It's not had any work put into it until since the 3rd generation, so I think it's time. I think it's Love Disc's time to rise and actually get some love. So, what I am thinking to make a Love Disc interesting, first of all, let's change its typing. We've got water. How about we add in fairy? Make this Pokemon water fairy, and that immediately puts it in, well, it just raises its threat. It raises its threat straight away, right there. There's not a great deal of fairy Pokemon in there, and I think Love Disc would fit the fairy category. Fairies are kind of like loving creatures that like prance about and stuff in theory, and I think Love Disc, being the love Pokemon, would work well as a water fairy typing. Obviously raising the base stats to 430 because you're raising it by 100, and the ability Swift Swim, I think if you keep that as his ability, will actually work out quite nicely. Now my theory for this is you could pair it hand in hand with Mega Wailord. Well, obviously you couldn't, because you couldn't have 2 Megas on the same team, but you know what I mean. You could put it in a Drizzle team, a Rain team, and then immediately, again, Mega Love Disc would have its niche. It would have its niche because it's already a base speed of 97, which is pretty damn good. Raise that by, make that a 140. Make that a 140 base speed, and then it is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, and it has got its niche. Well, you wouldn't even need that with Swift Swim. That would be absolutely incredible. Probably a little bit OP, but even if you let's say we leave the base speed at 97. Swift Swim, it doubles it. That is a whopping, what is it? My maths is not very good straight off the top of my head. We're talking about 194. Is that right? Something like that. 194, we'll say that. My math is probably completely wrong. But you're close to 200 speed then in the Rain, which is going to be incredible. Now, its special attack is straight up booty at 40. Let's raise that. Raise that to about 70. Say 70, raise its defense and special defense a little bit more, and then you've actually got a half-decent Pokemon. It's not going to be in the Ubers tier, but a Mega Pokemon in the lower tiers might actually be quite nice, and it might actually have a use, which would be quite interesting there. So Love Disc is the second Pokemon on our top 5 Hoenn Pokemon that need a Mega Evolution. Moving on to number 3, we have got Tropius, the fruit Pokemon. Now, Tropius was one of my favourite Pokemon. I loved its design. It was like a dinosaur, a Diplodocus, or a Brachiosaurus, and it had fucking leaves on it. That is incredible. Obviously, those bananas hanging from its chin are fantastic as well. Now, the reason Tropius is on the list as well, because it's one of my favourite Pokemon. I really enjoyed it, and it's not had much love since it was created in the 3rd generation. Obviously, it got the hidden ability Harvest, which increased its potency and made it actually quite a worthwhile Pokemon. I've been seeing Tropius a lot more on Pokemon Showdown and on Wi-Fi battles because of its hidden ability. And Harvest is playing a really big part now. I really enjoy that ability. So, with a base total stat of 460, raising that to 560 will actually make Tropius, Mega Tropius, actually quite good. Keeping the typing Grass Flying, because I think that's a nice, unique typing for the Pokemon, and I don't want to lose that. I think that's quite good. But for ability-wise, now, Harvest is a fantastic ability, but for Mega Tropius, look at this. Think about this, guys. Think about the typing. If we changed it, if we left the typing the way it is, but the ability, imagine we give it Thick Fat, or a variant of Thick Fat, something more plant-related, because then it would lose, it's already got a 4 times weakness to Ice, so we half that to 2 times weakness, and we lose the Fire weakness. That means it's only weak to Flying, Poison, Rock, and Ice. We totally negate one of its major threats and half another one of its major threats. So I think that's a very good idea to make Mega Tropius one hell of a monster. Now, for stat increases, if we go for defense and special defense, so we turn it into more of a tanky Pokemon, along with that Thick Fat ability, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of a name for it just now, but if we raise its defenses to both over 100, then we're talking about a very nice wall here. We're talking about a nice wall, and I think that would have a nice niche in a team. You could even put it in a Drizzle team, which would be fantastic, because you've got the grass in there, which will be nice and juicy, obviously, because you're not going to be... Fire is just not going to be affecting you at all, which is very nice. So I think Mega Tropius is going to be a good idea, along with the Thick Fat ability, the increase up to 560 base stats, and the increase of the defense, special defense, and maybe special attack, just so it has a little bit bit more. Keep the speed where it is, keep the attack where it is, and obviously the HP stays the same. But there we go. There is another idea for a Mega Tropius. Number 4, now I think this is going to be my favourite idea, is Cast Form. Now, Cast Form is the weather Pokemon number 351 in the Pokedex. Cast Form is an interesting Pokemon. I loved the idea when it was first introduced in Hoenn. And looking at it, it's just a total gimmicky Pokemon. It kind of looks like Peter Griffin. It's got the head, it's got the balls chin, you know what I mean? You know, the chin that kind of looks like a pair of balls, and it's so cute. It's fantastic. When it turns into sunny form or its rainy form, it's always happy. It's one hell of a happy Pokemon, but I want this Pokemon to be turned into a monster. I want this weather Pokemon to actually be a threat. So, my idea, guys, here is, when whatever rains up, you can have this Cast Form as part of your weather team. It's a weather Pokemon, so I want it to actually be used in a staple team. So, my idea here is you will have 3 different Mega Evolution forms. Now, hear me out. Here we are. So, we've got a Sunny team. When it goes into its Sunny form and you Mega Evolve, then obviously you get the sunny variant of the Mega Evolution. Same with the rain, and same with the snowy form. This way, you are actually getting use of a Pokemon, and instead of when the weather disappears, the Pokemon will stay in that form. It is locked into that form, so you don't need the weather anymore, because that was one of Cast Form's flaws. I didn't like it changing back. I like it staying in its form. So, once it's Mega Evolved, it will stay in the Sunny form, it will stay in its Rainy form, and it will stay in its Snowy form, its Mega Sunny form, Mega Rainy form, or Mega Snowy form. It is going to be awesome. And for ability-wise, if we're going to go for Sunny form, we're going to go Chlorophyll, give it that boosted firepower. Obviously, it's going to be depleting its HP in the sun, but it's going to be more powerful. You're talking about real power behind the Sunny form there. I want these guys to be threats. At the moment, they're total gimmicks, but I want to turn them into monsters. Next up, we've got the water, the rainy form, which is going to have swift swim. We want to turn this into a fast attacker, maybe a sweeper, that kind of thing, and that would be fantastic as well. You could come in there, sweep up fire-type Pokemon, or anything like that, which would be great. And finally, we've got that Ice Body, the snowy form. We're going to give that guy the Ice Body ability, make it slightly more bulky, because each one's going to have different stats. We're going to make the rainy one fast, we're going to make the sunny one quite strong, especially attacking, and attacking-wise, maybe kind of like a really powerful attacker. Rainy form's going to be speedy, and snowy form's going to be bulky as shit. We're going to turn it into Ice Body, so it gets regeneration from the hail, and I think that would be good. I think that will work out quite nicely. Obviously, each Mega Evolution is going to have their separate stats increased. As I said, Sunny is going to have special attack and attack increasing. Rainy is going to have the speed increase. And we're going to have the snowy form, which is going to have defense and special defense increase. That way, it's going to be the utility Pokemon. You're going to have a Pokemon here that's going to fit into many different situations. Are you going to use it in a rainy team? Are you going to use it in a snowy team? Are you going to use it to actually set up weather and sweep? Either way, I think that is a very nice way to turn Cast Form into an actual viable Pokemon that people will use other than trying to troll. Because at the moment, the only time I see it is people trying to troll or mess about. And I want to see it as a threat. As I said, I love the smiley little bastard's face, and I want to see it with a mean fucking frown, some deep eyebrows, and a threat that people fear when it comes on the field. Now, guys, finally, we got the 5th and final Pokemon that needs a Mega Evolution in the Hoenn region, and that is Altaria. Yes, guys, I know a lot of people have been discussing about Altaria before because it is a forgotten dragon. Dragons are a threat, and this dex number of 334 is a forgotten dragon. It's a dragon flying, it just is cute and it does nothing else. It needs to be absolutely monstrous. And to do this, guys, you're going to turn that into a dragon fairy Pokemon. It is simple, it is been talked about a million times, but it needs to happen. A dragon fairy needs to be turned into Altaria, and that will make it a threat. It will make it monstrous, and you can actually turn this cute Pokemon, this cute dragon that everybody sleeps on, into something that is absolutely monstrous. It's got a base stat total of 490, which will be turned into almost 600, which is brilliant. That's an absolutely respectable base stat total when it Mega Evolves, and you're going to turn this guy into a bulky Pokemon as well, with a base stat already of 90 in defense and special defense is 105. Turn that into a bulky Pokemon with speed. That's its gimmick. That's where it gets its niche. It's going to be bulky, but it's going to have speed. I know this is a long shot, and I know it's totally out there, but this is what I'm thinking. If we turn it into a bulky, speedy Pokemon, then it can do wonders. It can stay in there. It can outspeed Pokemon. If another Pokemon outspeeds it or it doesn't kill because its attack and special attack aren't very high, then it has got the bulk to withstand. You're talking about a Pokemon here that can come in near the start and absolutely take charge. Or, as a late game sweeper, it's got the bulk. It will be able to take the hits and then move through the rest of the team. This fairy dragon could be turned into an absolute monster. No longer will people laugh at this humming Pokemon. Fucking humming Pokemon. We want to turn it into a fucking wailing Pokemon. One that people will fear. And I think that's the best way to do it. For ability, I was thinking maybe a natural cure, as it already had, which is fantastic. Again, if you want a bulky Pokemon, what is the best way to get rid of bulk? Give it poison, give it paralysis, that kind of thing. So I think natural cure will work perfectly there. But here is an outside thought for you. If you're working doubles, maybe we turn this into a doubles Pokemon. You have it as a bulky Pokemon fairly quickly, but you also have Aroma Veil on it. Now, Aroma Veil, if nobody knows what that is, it was introduced because it's Aromatizzy, however you want to say it. That's its signature ability. And it basically prevents Taunt, Torment, Encore, Disable, Heal Block, Attract, all of those annoying moves in Pokemon battles that you just wish weren't there. So, I think Altaria might have that. So, Mega Altaria could be a very, very serious threat with these changes. Boost the special attack, boost the special defense, special attack, boost the defense, boost the special defense, and boost the speed. And you could have one hell of a bulky speedster right there. Okay then guys, there we go. There's the top 5 list of Hoenn Pokemon that need a Mega Evolution. This is all completely my opinion, but I'm absolutely so hyped for these new games to come out, and I thought I'd like to share these opinions with you. And that is exactly what I want to do with these series. If you guys enjoyed today's video, then I will probably do some more top 5s as we move on. Feel free to discuss what I've said today in the box below, because it'd be nice to get some feedback, because these are just my ideas and it would be nice to see what you guys think of them. But either way guys, I've been Razbowski, you've been the wonderful bastards as always for watching, and I love each and every single one of you. Goodbye.